Okay, so this is going to be kind of a tutorial of sorts for the ESMailess route for DS1 all bosses. One thing I should mention before starting is that my PB for this route isn't the most optimized out there. There were a couple of optimizations I wasn't aware of at the time, so I will leave in the description obviously some VODs with timestamps so you can see some more optimal strategies for certain segments. And also, I would highly recommend obviously downloading the save organizer for this. I'll leave a link to that, and also I'd recommend just checking out as many VODs for this route as you can to get a general idea of what to do for most parts. But yeah, without further ado, so you want to start as FIFA Black Firebombs. You can start as male or female, it doesn't really matter, but if you start as female, just be aware that you have to two-hand your weapon if you want to do a confirmation box dupe. And yeah, so you saw that I two-handed the hilt at the start there. That was just so I could block out of the door after picking up the key, which saves a couple of frames, but you don't need to do that if you don't want to. And yeah, you just run through here. Unequip your armor. And one thing I should mention is you'll see on the door here, even though you can't see my mouse because I wasn't capturing it with OBS, I moved my mouse to this point here. And the reason I do that is because there's obviously a glitch called Prompt Swap we're going to do with the Undead Merchant and Undead Berg, which I will explain more in depth once we get there. But you see here with the firebombs for Asylum, I like to run around here, and then I turn my camera, you throw 3 bombs, and then you want to roll. You can do a couple of attacks, so I'll just check out a couple of VODs to see the other attacks you can do. But that's the best attack you can do. You just roll and then you throw 2 more bombs. And yeah, you want to skip the shield here and pick up the bandit's knife, which we're going to use for Taurus and to get the Drake sword from Hellkite. So yeah, here you want to equip the bandit's knife, and you want to quit out here. I like to kind of once I reach around this point, that's where I like to jump. And then yeah, you just want to mash through Oscar's dialogue here. Yeah, and then you just run through the rest of Asylum here. Also, one thing I should mention is that I'm a bit lazy, but what you can do, obviously, when you're about to start sprinting again, is do some toggling or blocking as you start sprinting, which saves a couple of frames. I'm lazy, so I don't really do it. So yeah, you just want to run through here. It's not very difficult. It's pretty easy pathing. These guys can do a jump attack, so just be wary of that. Yeah, you want to try and roll that so you don't get staggered, but I'm pretty bad, so I'm pretty inconsistent at it. So jump through the boxes. Now, the glitch I mentioned earlier called Prompt Swap. Now, I've left a video in the description from Duxual showing how you can bind the what you need to do to your controller. And basically what you're meant to do is you press A or X if you're on a PlayStation controller and the left click on your mouse. And what that does is it allows you to buy an item that you normally can't afford, which is what we do here for the bottomless box. It's much easier though if you bind it to the controller, so I'll just watch the video I recommend. So you want to buy the rapier, the short bow, the east wedge shield, and 3 wooden arrows. Right here. I messed up a little bit though. And then you do the prompt swap here. Yeah, those hollows can block you. They're quite annoying. Yeah, got pretty bad RNG on this run. So yeah, kick that guy and roll. Yeah. The guy here can do a pretty quick jump attack, which you need to roll, so should be aware of that. So yeah, pick up the gold pine resins, and then once I reach around here, that's when I like to jump around there. And then for this jump, I wait until my head's around here, my body's around here, and then I jump for the barrel. And now it's time for Taurus. So I equip my bow and arrows here. And then, you see I move a bit to the right here. Or at least I usually do, but I wanted to get the animation cancelled, which luckily I got. So what I like to do for Taurus, kind of, I like to walk around here. But I missed. Normally I do just 2 hour runs, but in this run I did a run an hour one. And yeah, you want to get enough attacks on him to get the bleed damage, and then you just want to finish him off. It's a bit of a finicky fight, so I'd just recommend checking a lot of VODs for it and practicing it a lot. But yeah, I didn't really do the optimal strategy at the start there that I do nowadays. So yeah, using Estus here for timing and for healing generally. And then I like to walk around here, shoot an arrow, run around here. Use the resin, and then you want to cut off his tail. It can be a bit finicky sometimes with the bandit's knife, but it's not too bad. And then here I want to equip the rapier here, and I'm going to change the order, which I think I messed up here. But you want to kind of put the Drake sword on the in the place of the Demon's Great Hammer for Moveswap later, which I'll explain once we get there. So yeah, if that guy blocks you at the door, you can just do a rapier run and attack on him. But normally he doesn't. And yeah, I wait until I'm around here and I jump and quit out to obviously reset the enemies. Yeah. And yeah, that guy can be a bit of a pain, but he was nice in this run, luckily. And for some reason I dropped the Drake sword. Okay, so for this skip here, for Sensegate skip, you can do it either here or here. If you're around there, you'll probably die, but anything above this point, you're generally okay. Now, optimally, when he does the run attack, you want to go on the left side. It's a bit faster, but you can just walk to the side. It's about a second and a half slower or so, but it is a bit more consistent, I suppose. But obviously, I just went on the left side. But yeah. As you probably noticed, my menuing for this run wasn't that optimal. This was one of my first runs of this route, so I'd recommend checking out what Regal and other runners do. So yeah, and you want to grab the bonfire here. Now I would recommend using keyboard or mouse for this skip. I generally don't. I use controller, but keyboard or mouse is a bit easier. And you want to level up 13 strength for that bonfire. And then you just want to run into Sense Fortress and jump and quit out. Which will obviously take away the def cam. And then you just want to run through Sense Fortress. And yeah, you want to make sure you run into the corner for this guy. Otherwise you'll get hit by the boulder if you just go straight out. And for the boulder here, I wait until I'm around here or so. I like to cut out. Now, for this part here, it's a bit finicky. You can just run straight here and not get hit by the arrows. I found it to be a little inconsistent though. What a lot of runners do is they like to just run, kind of brush up here, and that works a lot of the time. What I like to do is just kind of aim my head towards here and just run, and that seems to work pretty much all the time for me. Yeah, and you want to run and attack this guy. If you just stand still, you do run and attack. If he does the other attack he does, then you don't need to do anything. So now it's time for Moveswap. So, as you probably saw earlier, I messed up my menuing for this. So, I ended up Moveswap the Bandit's Knife instead, because I'm a bit Pepega. But obviously we'll see the proper Moveswap here on the Drake Sword. So, I will leave a tutorial for Mr. Brood for Moveswap, but what I do is when I jump, I wait until my left leg pretty much hits the ground, and then I want to queue up two-handed the bow, and then once my head hits, I base it more on feeling, but generally once your head gets to like this point, you can't really see it, then I like to swap the weapon. My only real recommendation when doing Moveswap is just lots of practice until you get a feel for it. Like, I generally don't really use visual cues for it anymore because I've just done it for so long. But yeah, I will leave a tutorial for it in the description. And now it's time for, I guess, a kind of a bit of a tough fight with Drake Sword Moveswap. If you know what this out is Golem. Obviously, you want to do an attack. You need to do 400 damage to his below his knee to stagger him, and then 200 to make him fall off. Now, if he stomps you, then you can just continue to do run attacks on him and get the one cycle. But if he doesn't, then you want to wait for him to do whatever he does and then do another run attack. Got pretty bad RNG here, but ended up being okay. And then it's just 2 more run attacks and he's done. Yeah, so what I did there was toggle to get out, to avoid getting staggered there, but if the giant already has thrown a firebomb, then you just want to roll into the fire and toggle, then run to the teleport point. So one thing that I do in runs now, which I didn't do in this run, is I like to equip the core of an iron golem here instead of just, and then I like to dupe it on the elevator nowadays, and then use it after ONS instead of just using it here. I didn't do that in this run, but I do that nowadays. So yeah, in this run I just use the soul. Nowadays I like to dupe it though. So yeah, and if you took damage from the boulder, you want to heal after using the soul. And then you jump here, toggle. Obviously, you don't need to heal here if you wanna YOLO, but I might just heal. So yeah, there's a swag jump called normal jump you can do there, but I wouldn't recommend it, only saves a second. And yeah, I like to put the Drake sword to the top of my inventory here, just because, or near the top, just because it makes it easier to drop after ONS. Yeah, and then you want to make your way to the Darkmoon Tomb bonfire. Obviously you want to push the lever twice. Now you want to make sure you pick up the ring here, as that's going to be used for a glitch called ESM later. So yeah, you want to level up 15 endurance and 27 strength here. And sometimes when you don't kill the guy before Iron Golem, sometimes I end up with 14 endurance. But what's most important is that you get 27 strength, because that's you need 27 strength in order to two-hand the Dragon Tooth, which is of course the weapon that we're going to use throughout the whole run, at least until after the DLC. So yeah, there's so right here. So what we want to do is we want to jump off the elevator and quit out before the elevator is finished moving, so that it will just stay at the bottom, so we don't need to pull it, so that we don't need to call it down once we go to Priscilla. So what you want to do is you want to wait until the elevator gets to around this point, until it looks like this point's around to reach, and then you want to jump and quit out. It's generally how I like to do it. Obviously you can do it later, or even earlier in some cases. Like that, you have quite a bit of leniency when it comes to timing. And if you fail it, you only lose about 12 seconds or so. So it's not too bad. Yeah. You don't need to roll that guy unless he does any of his swipe attacks. Now there are audio cues for the Batwing demons, but I just like to look behind me and see what they're doing, see if they're gonna throw lightning or not. Obviously I didn't do that in this run though. Now, if this guy here is shooting arrows, then you want to go make him fall off with the Drake Sword R2. If he is not shooting arrows, then you just want to wait for him to come towards you. And he will usually fall off on his own. Unless he wants to act weird. And yeah, you want to equip the rapier here. And now we're going to go grab the Dragon Tooth. Obviously that guy has a few attacks you need to roll, but not that one luckily. So yeah, for the jump here, I just wait till I'm around here. I turn my character around, then I wait until I'm around here and I jump. So, obviously, I messed it up in this run, but I jumped a bit far to the left, though. But here it was fine. So yeah, you don't need to Moveswap here on the stairs, but it's just more optimal to do it, so I did. And yeah, if you heal before the fight, you can generally tank one or so hits, but I didn't do that in this run. So there's a couple of openings Ornstein can do. If he does the charge opening, then you want to run past the pillar on the left and roll the attack. If he does the lightning opening, then generally what you want to do is either quit out or run over here. And if he does the walk opening, then you do what I do here and run over here. And if they do the ultra rare opening where they just are AFK for like 5 seconds, then you pretty much always want to quit out for that one. But he did the walk opening here, so I just run over here, healed, and then do a run attack. Obviously sometimes he jumps back, he likes to jump around of that opening, which he didn't do too many times luckily. And then you just want to try to kill him pretty much. Obviously this is one of the fights that takes a lot of practice as well, to figure out when you can go for attacks and when you can't. But luckily once you got Ornstein down, you can just unlock Smo here. Now going through the left elevator is a bit more optimal now. In the runs I do nowadays, I like to use the Corvin Iron Golem here, because I'd like to dupe it after Iron Golem. But in this run I just dropped some items. So, yeah. Now you want to shoot over the arrow and then just dupe the honed bone. Now with confirmation box dupes, what you want to do is basically like store up an animation, like a roll in this case. And during the animation you want to obviously press the button to use the item, then open the menu, and then you want to use the Estus Flask or Dark Sign, and then the confirmation box will appear and you will use the item, but it won't actually use the item, it'll use the item you used in the menu, or in your inventory rather. So yeah, you want to warp to Firelink, and then warp to 100 Parish. And you want to equip the shield here, and make your way to the hollow room. So yeah, you want to send this elevator down for Stray later. Yeah, if that guy does a run and attack, you can just run past him. Otherwise, you can either parry or block him to get past him. And you want to run and attack this guy. Normally you kill him, but yeah, it's a bit finicky this time. Now with the ladder Moveswap, what I like to do is once my leg reaches this point, my left leg gets this point, I like to store up two end in the left, two end in the bow, and then you want to swap the weapon. So yeah, and Gargoyle's a pretty easy fight because you stagger them in one hit, which is pretty nice, as you see here. Obviously I didn't get run and attack that time, but that's fine. So yeah, here I like to equip the Estus Flask in the first slot, then the Homeward Bone, Fire Bombs, and the Soul of Smoke. And you want to do another confirmation box dupe of the Homeward Bone here. So yeah, you want to dupe the soul once you're in the elevator. So yeah, you can do a jump there, but what I do, so you can either jump here. Now if you jump, you wanna kind of run off this point if you want to jump. But I prefer to roll, so I wait until my character's around here and then I just roll. If you roll late, then you you sometimes just don't make it. So I like to roll a bit early, and it feels like I get a bit of a boost. So yeah, and then you just want to chill here. Now if the gargoyles drop the halberd, then you want to rearrange your inventory, because it will take the place of the dragon tooth, which would be, it's kind of problematic. So you can either change it on the ladder after gargoyles, or you can do it here. Doesn't really matter. You can also drop it there, but if you do that, then just be aware that the bone will be on no after straight. So yeah, you Moveswap here, wait for the gargoyles for a little bit, and then or wait for the hollows for a little bit, rather, sorry, and then you want to jump. And if they do the jump and attack, then you want to roll. So Stray is probably the memeiest fight in this route, just because of how pitiful damage you do, but he did the best opening there. Now, he did the best attack, which is the double slam. Now, if he does the AoE, where he does like the swipe with his axe, then you want to run over here. If he does the swipe attack, you can just run towards him like I do for this attack here. And if he does the kind of long AoE, then you want to run behind him. So yeah, you can do 2 attacks here if he does that opening. So yeah, now you just gotta hope for good RNG. If he does the long AoE, then you can just attack his tail here while he's doing it. Yeah. Now, if he does the slam here, you want to wait a little bit after he lands, because there is a lingering hitbox here, so you can't just run straight in. So you have to wait a little bit before you go into attack. So yeah, you want to equip the ring here. And you want to equip it in the slot that I did specifically, as that is actually quite important. Now, normally that guy does a run attack, which you can just run past, but he did a normal melee, which meant I had to roll. So yeah, you can just use the bone here and he normally won't hit you. You can kill him with the dragon tooth if you want, but it's a little slow. So I'm going to click off Laurentius here. Wait till you got his souls, and then you can quit out. And then you want to pick up the ring he drops. Now I should mention at this point, now there are 2 things you can do here. You can either do Blighttown skip or Blighttown plunges. Now in this run I opted to do the plunges. Now I wouldn't recommend doing the skip if you're just starting out of this route, as it only saves around 20 seconds, and it's not that difficult in my opinion, but it is a bit when you start practicing it the first time. So I'd highly recommend doing the plunges, and I have left in the description a video from Sastatine showing kind of the any % way of doing it, and I've left timestamps for the points of the video that are relevant for this route, and I've also left a video from Regal showing the Unequip air rolls, which is what you have to do for the skip in this route. And I've also I've left a video from Comny showing a bit of an in-depth tutorial for the plunges. Now here you want to obviously dupe the soul once and then use it. Equip the ring, and then you want to send the elevator back up. And then you want to talk to Rickard. You talk to him once and then talk to him again to buy stuff from him. You buy the heavy soul arrow and the catalyst, and then you say goodbye. So yeah, you can just run past these guys. If they do the quick attack, you either have to roll or strafe really far to the right. Now I only equip both the rapier and the bow. Now I have left, as I mentioned in the description, a kind of a more in-depth tutorial for Blighttown Plunges from Comedy. But what I do is I kind of like to kind of just aim my character in this direction. And I wait till I'm about on this point of the plank, and then I jump. And you want to wait for your stamina to regen, and then plunge. Roll. And then I like to kind of like... Normally I like to aim my guy in kind of this direction. But in this run I did it in this direction. Still worked though, luckily. Now, if he does the kind of the quick plunge, then you can just spam roll. But if he does the slower plunge, then you have to wait until you're kind of in the swamp to roll, otherwise you will die if you roll too early. And then you just want to re-equip your items here. So yeah, you can heal. If you heal before the fight, if Quitout does an AoE, you can actually block one of them with the Dragon Tooth. But I didn't heal to be a bit more optimal. So yeah, you want to Moveswap here. And then to the fight. Now you want to hope for the long lava opening here. But I got the quick one. Now, if you attack her here, then she will do... You can bait her into doing the fire butt attack here. And if she does that, then you want to go to the front and attack her. So yeah, this was not a very good fight, but it was satisfactory, I suppose. But yeah, she can do the long lava, which I mentioned, which is the most optimal opening, or the quick lava, which I like to just go behind her and do the kind of AI loop thing, if that happens. And if she does the jump attack, you just want to aim your camera very high and do a run attack. So yeah, you want to ring the bell. And then we want to go grab this bonfire for later. Now after saying yes to this guy, you want to quit out, which will kind of like spawn him in his like normal position. Now, of the soul setup I usually get 32 endurance here, which I believe I didn't in this run. Yeah, I only got 30 in this run. Normally I get 32, but that's okay. And now you make your way to the painted world. So yeah, these guys here can throw throwing knives, but they're pretty easy to dodge. Now this kind of like mini passage here, sometimes you just get stuck here for no reason. But if that happens, then you can just run back and then try again. So yeah, if those guys do the jump attack there, you want to roll, which is what they usually like to do, because they're not very nice enemies. But other times you can just run past. So yeah, you can strafe that guy's attack there, the torch attack. I find it to be more consistent than just running to the left generally. So yeah, and I like to roll these guys. You can strafe them to the right. If you go on the right of them, you can strafe them, but I just like to roll them. I find it to be a bit more comfy personally. Yeah, you want to grab the red sign soapstone, which we'll need for a glitch later. And you want to drop off here. Now, I Moveswap here because I like to kill the enemies down here. because they're kind of monkey-shake, because their arrows basically follow you throughout the entire run to the fog gate. But optimally there is pathing you can do so that you won't get hit by the arrows, which I've been a bit lazy to learn. But if you check out Catalyst's All Bosses World Record, you can see how he does it. Or Weagle, or other runners. So yeah, you want to have the bow two-handed here to shoot Priscilla, so that when she vanishes, you can see where she is. You don't have to do that though if you're not too comfortable with Moveswap. Yeah, and you want to lock on after you shoot the arrow, because sometimes if she spawns like in this general direction, you can see where she is. Yeah, we'll kind of rewatch that fight here. So yeah, you want to do an attack here. You can strafe this attack, do another run attack. Yeah. Now the other melee attacks you can do is kind of like the quick attack. That one you need to roll, but you can strafe the melee she did here. And if she does the kind of like breath attack, then you can just strafe that as well. So yeah, I want to dupe the bone here. Now nowadays you can just level up 32 endurance there if you got 31 after Quitout, which I didn't do here. Now you'll notice here, now what you want to do is you want to equip the bow here, unequip the Ring of Favor and Protection, and you want to kind of like, as you see here, I kind of store up this kind of like menu, and yeah, that's kind of important, so you need to do that. And you want to buy, now in this run you see that I buy a pike from Andre. You don't want to do that, you just want to buy the Crest of Artorias, the Weaponsmith box, the Kite Shield, and 999 wooden arrows. And then you wanna store up the drop menu, exit the menu, store up the dupe, speak to Andre, and then once this comes up, you want to press yes on the pikes, which meant that we just bought 999 pikes pretty much, but in one massive pike, which pretty much cramps our inventory, which will be used for ESM. So you want to do a run and attack here, press A or X on the head slot, then press X to unequip the ring, and then we want to equip the red sign soapstone, which gives us the red tearstone ring. Now I have no idea how the glitch works personally, but it's pretty easy to do, luckily. Yeah, and once we get to the door here, you want to quit out. Generally, you want to quit out on doors anyway, because it saves a few seconds IGT, but here it is actually pretty important, because if you don't quit out there, then the enemies won't let you rest at the bonfire, which means you'll have to kill them, which is pretty slow. Now, you normally want to tune the heavy soul arrow there, but I didn't start doing that minor optimization until more recently. Now, for RTSR here, now you see that with the bridge jump, I jump off around here, once I get around that point on the ledge. Now, there's two RTSR setups you can do. You can do the one here that I did, or you can do what I do more these days, which is equip the really heavy pike which will give you RTSR. But then you want to toggle here if you do that setup. And you want to unequip everything except the Dragon Tooth. Now, if you have 32 endurance, you only want the Dragon Tooth equipped, so you can do the fast roll here with the plunge, which makes it a bit easier for the roll afterwards. If you're doing mid roll, then you can keep the shield equipped, but I would highly recommend just taking the ladder at that point. But I did the mid roll plunge here, and then I unequipped the Dragon Tooth. Wait till I'm around this point in the water, and then yeah, you want to throw one bomb here. Obviously this wasn't the most optimal Hydra fight, but you want to make sure you do run, jump and attack here, and then you want to throw 2 bombs. Again, I would highly recommend checking out Regal Slayer's fight here, as this fight wasn't very optimal. Now, you'll notice that as I mentioned, after I did quantity storage, or while I was doing quantity storage, I bought a normal pike. Optimally, you don't want to do that. You want to the massive pike that you got. You basically just want to drop it here and then pick it back up again, and it will kind of just reset it as like a normal pike. That's what you want to do optimally. So yeah, this fight was pretty bad in this run, so I wouldn't use it as a reference. Highly recommend checking out some more optimal fights from other runners. So yeah, you want to put the Dragon Tooth where the pike is, so you can move swap it again. So move swap here. So yeah, normally you want to get up there, and then once you get around here, jump and quit out. But I messed up. So yeah, it takes both hits of one run attack to kill this guy. So talk to Dusk, and then you want to dupe the bone. Now you want to go into the bottomless box, put in the soul of Priscilla and the dragon scale. Now, for the Frampt dupes here, I wasn't aware of this optimization at the time, but what you kind of want to do is you want to do another prompt swap for the dragon scales, which so what you want to do is you want to put either the black fire bombs or the twin humanities at the top of your inventory, which you can do either on this warp, which is when I do it, or a bit earlier. And you want to store up the drop 909 hours. You want to store that up with the arrows once you enter filing. You want to place Lord Vessel, talk to Frampt again. You want to store up the bone dupe, and normally what you do is you dupe 999. So what you do is you wait here for the confirmation box to appear, and then you press yes, like you press on the no for the Soul of Priscilla, and then you press OK here for 999 souls, and then you press it again and dupe 98. Now normally what you do optimally is right after doing that you do a prompt swap with the humanities or firebombs, and then press OK with the dragon scales, and then you store up the arrows again, store up the dupe of the bone, and yeah, I messed it up here, but that's okay. And you want to dupe the Soul of Priscilla again. And then obviously, in this run, as you can see, I ended up having to do the dragon scales here, which was a bit slow. It's basically just an extra cycle, but it's not too bad. Again, you can check. I'll leave a link to Regal Slayer's PB, so you can see how he does it. And you want to use the mouse. You kind of want to hover the mouse over these stats to level up way quicker, and you want to get 32 or 33 vit, 12 attunement, 52 endurance, 53 strength, 45 dex, and 99 intelligence. And you want to upgrade the Dragon Tooth to +5 and attune Heavy Soul Arrow. And then you want to warp to Anolondo. So yeah, now we've got a pretty OP character. So yeah, you just want to run into Duke's archives here. So yeah, this ball can be pretty spooky. You just want to wait till he's charging towards you and then roll. Yeah, it takes a bit of practice, but it's not that bad. So yeah, you want to move up the Dragon Tooth here. And yeah, wait for the elevator. And then you want to kill this golem over here to get the broken pendant. So you want to equip the bow, equip the Dragon Tooth, and equip the arrows. Now, if you're doing, so there's two. So you want to do jig skip here. Now, what I do is I kind of run into this corner here, run around here, and then what I do is I run here, and once this point of the elevator reaches around here, I run off to this point here, as you can see. Then you want to walk to around here, wait till the elevator, like this point the elevator reaches like here, and then you roll. So yeah, it's pretty easy. Takes a bit of practice, but yeah, it's probably one of the easier skips in this game. And it saves around 6 minutes or so. Now you want to do the ladder skip here, so you want to walk into the ladder here till you reach around, around here. And then you want to slowly walk off here. And then you land there. Which obviously skips going down the ladder. Now, here in Crystal Caves, there are two strategies. You can either do the plunge, which is what I do, which is why I have the Dragon Tooth equipped here. Or you can do slope Quitout. Now, I'm not very good at it, but I will leave in the description a tutorial from Catalyst on how to do it. I wouldn't really recommend doing it if you're just starting out with this route, but yeah, you can do it if you want. So yeah, you would do it. That's where you would do it over there. But I prefer to take a little detour here and do a plunge instead. And what I like to do is aim my guy kind of like in this direction. And then once I get around here, I jump, plunge, and then roll. So yeah, and you want to make sure you have the bow and arrows equipped so that we can destroy the crystal in Sea of Sposhroom. Alternatively, you can throw a firebomb at it and just Moveswap here, but yeah, that's a bit more unoptimal, but you can do that if you want. So yeah, my pathing for the clams is not very good. So yeah, I would recommend checking out a lot of people's pathing and see what works for you here to get no clams. And yeah, you want to shoot this crystal with the bow. Moveswap. You kind of want to make sure you hit his center here, as his core is where he obviously takes the most damage. You can get a 2-shot here. I ended up getting a 3-shot. I'm not really sure how that works. But, yeah. And you want to equip the Dustcount Ring and dupe the bone here once he's dead. Kind of once his body kind of like slams the floors when you want to bone out. So yeah, I like to run around. I like to run kind of here. Now there's a couple of attacks you can do. If he does the long two-handed swipe, you want to keep the Dust Crown equipped. If he does the one he just did there, then I also like to keep it equipped. If he does the perfect attack, it's the same thing. If he does the one-handed attack, which isn't very optimal, then you just unequip the Dust Crown and do a jump there and a jump over here. And also you noticed like Toggle escaped out of his attacks, so that I didn't get staggered. So yeah, if you're... So you can... if you're a bit of a spicy runner like Dan Flesh, you can do a Quitout there on the door. But I don't like to do that personally, because it kind of messes with Sif's AI. Sif, if he does a run attack, which he normally does, you want to roll. And yeah, just get 2 run attacks on him. He dies pretty quick. And then you want to bone out. Now, we're gonna, over here we pick up the Elite Knight armor set, and that's for something that we call meme rolls, or if you prefer more professional terminology, air rolls. And it's basically in the Prepare to Die edition, you want to kind of get your equip low to kind of like a decimal point memory, some decimal point memory, in order to do meme rolls. In Remaster, of course, you have a lot of leniency. In PTD, you don't at all. So the setup for meme rolls is, and you can see I'm kind of setting up my inventory. Basically what you do is you want to have the black leather like helmet or hood, black leather chest, Elite Knight gloves, normal pike, rapier, bow, and the kite shield. And that's with 52 endurance, and it will only work with 52 endurance. So yeah, it's a bit of a convoluted setup, but yeah. So butterfly, once I see his rings kind of at this point, that's when I like to start casting. And yeah, with 4 to 5 decks, you obviously cast really quick. And yeah, just kill him. So if he does the kind of like spike attacks, or arrow attack, you kind of want to block. If he does the big orb kind of attack, you want to roll it, because it does deal quite a bit of damage. And if he does like the overhead kind of orb, then yeah, not much you can really do for that. So here you want to equip the Dust Crown. And we're gonna jump off the bridge here for RTSR. You want to equip the Dragon Tooth for the plunge. And yeah, obviously you can keep the shield equipped while you move swapped with the Dragon Tooth during the Guardian fight, and you'll still fast roll because 52 endurance for the win. See, I just run off here, but you can also jump. Now I didn't explain the plunge here earlier, but I will here. So what I do is I kind of like to run kind of like this point, and I like to kind of like aim my head in kind of this general direction. Then I wait a bit, then I plunge. Now, that was a bit of a monkish shake kind of plunge. Obviously, if you get kind of like a slower plunge, you kind of want to wait a bit until you're near the ground, then roll. But if you get a really quick roll, a really quick plunge like I did, you can just queue up roll, and it'll work. So yeah, you can do arena move swap here, but yeah, I just move swap there instead. So now it's time for the best part of the run, the DLC. So here at the Fog Gate, you want to unequip the Dust Crown. And nowadays I like to run more to the right, but in this run I ran to the left. Now, with Guardian, there's a number of openings you can do. As you can see, he did the big lightning attack there, which you need to roll. If he does the quick lightning, like the lightning bolts, you need to run, like strafe them. Now, he does melee here. Now, when he does the melee, when he does the second melee, if it's the same melee attack as the first one, then you can just go straight in and attack him. If the second melee attack he does is different from the first melee attack he did, then he's going to do 2 more melee attacks, which means you have to wait for him to do that, and then you can attack him, which is what he did here. So, if you watch the VOD here, you can see, melee attack he does the second time is different from the first one, so he does 2 more attacks. So yeah, you need to watch out for that. But yeah, once he's finished with his combo, you can just go in and attack. And I'll also leave a video from Capitaine, Capitaine Tonon talking, which kind of goes into a bit more depth about that in the description. So you want to talk to Rosabeth here, say yes, and then buy the hidden body. Now, you want to quit out here because the farmers up here, they notice you when you're running across the bridge. So if you just run up there, they'll kick your ass. So you want to quit out there. So yeah, and you want to do the meme roll setup here for Royal Wood Skip. Now, I like to equip it, the last piece of equipment I need right there. Generally, before you do the meme roll, you want to have everything equipped that you can without mid-rolling. And then, kind of right before you do the meme roll, you want to equip the last piece of equipment. And you want to wait kind of a second after you equip it so that you will actually start to mid-roll. Because if you just start to roll right after equipping the final piece of equipment, you'll just fast roll. So you have to wait for the game to register it. And for Royal Wood Skip, there's a bit of leniency. You don't want to roll too late, as sometimes you won't be able to get the last roll in time. But you can roll like pretty much anywhere from kind of like this point to like this point. You can roll pretty much, and you'll be fine. It's quite a bit of leniency for timing. You want to unequip the other items. Moveswap here, talk to Chester. You can say yes or no, but no is more optimal. Buy 99 blossoms, firebombs, bones, and 1 Lloyd's talisman. Now it's time for Artorias. Now you want to use a blossom right after you skip the cutscene here. Now, I like to aim my camera kind of like in this direction here. If you look at the drive, kind of like this direction, and sprint there. Now, there's a couple of openings Artorias can do. He can do kind of like the flip attack. If he does that, there's 2 things you can do. You can either run around him and do a run attack, or you can do what I do, which is a roll attack. And on this route, he will buff straight afterwards, so be wary of that. If he does kind of like the charge attack, then you just want to run around him. And if he does the jump attack that he does here, then I like to run kind of over here and pounce on him. And there we go. So yeah, with 50, you want to make sure you have 53 strength fears. That's vital in order to kill him in 2 run attacks there. So yeah. The rest of the bonfire, you want to tune hidden body here, and then warp to Darkmoon Tomb. So with Gwendolyn, you don't wanna go attack him until he does the arrow attacks, as that's the only attack. If you attack him after he does the arrows, he will stagger. But if you attack him after he does magic, then he'll just teleport. So yeah, you just want to kind of run kind of into these kind of corners when he does magic. And just, yeah, hope you get good RNG. So I got the arrows here. And if he does the arrows, you just go in and attack. Obviously, I was a bit unoptimal here because basically, if he does kind of like early arrows, if you go in straight to attack, then he will just teleport. So you want to kind of, you know, bait his arrows at a bit of a later time than I did. But I was lucky with stamina, so I was able to kill him. Now I'm gonna go trigger Calamite here. Now you can trigger Calamite after Manus as well. It doesn't really matter. I just prefer to do it here. So I like to cast Hidden Body around here. I doubt it really makes much of a difference for the dogs, but I prefer to just do it anyway. So yeah, you want to drop down to where the Crystal Lizard is here. And you want to set up your menu for the next meme rolls. Because you have to wait anyway. And once I see Calamite's head, which around this point, that's when it's safe to bone out. So, for this meme roll here, you have to roll pretty late. If you roll pretty early here, you will die. So you want to roll kind of late. So once my foot reaches around, like kind of like this point, that's when I like to roll. And you want to equip the catalyst and unequip one of the items you have. Cast Hidden Body here, and make your way to the Mimic chest. So yeah, you want to roll into the room here, throw a Lloyd's Talisman, wait a little bit, and then you want to kill this guy. He takes 2 casts. He's a bit annoying, but what can you do? And then you want to equip the Dust Crown here. Now, alternatively, you can take the Bonfire before Manus. If you're kind of not comfortable with this kind of setup with Darkbreed pickup, but yeah, it's more optimal to do it this way. So yeah, you cast Hidden Body there, and then you wanna run past these guys. This guy here can do a melee attack, which you need to roll when he does it, or Darkbreed cast there, or Dark Magic cast rather. And yeah, you want to do another meme roll here. So yeah, that's the only attack from this guy you need to roll, that charge there. And then once I get around here, start rolling. So yeah, you want to equip the catalyst, and then the only other thing you want to have equipped is either the bow or shield. Cast Hidden Body there, or take the bonfire if you'd prefer. And then once I reach around this point here, I start casting, and then I lock onto this guy. And it takes 2 casts to kill him. And then you want to go in, pick up Darkbreed. And yeah, you want to roll any of these guys if they do melee attacks that are going to hit you. And you want to cast the last hidden body here. And then equip the bows as soon as you can. And then I Moveswap here. There's more of a swag Moveswap you can do here. And if you check out Catalyst, Soul Boss's World Record, you can see what that looks like. And you want to do Foggate skip here, so what I do is wait until I reach around this point, and then jump over there. Then I jump into the fight. You don't need to unequip Dust Crown here necessarily, but as you can see I tried to, but I failed. Now, with Manus is probably one of the most technical fights in speedruns of this game, because there are many attacks you can do. Some of which you can punish, others you can't. So it's a bit difficult to explain what to do here. So my only real recommendation is practice a lot and watch as many VODs as you can to see what to do. But here he does the kind of long arm attack, which you want to roll. You can strafe it, but I just rolled. Go for a run attack afterwards. He does it again. Yeah. And you can just attack him when he does that. And he's dead. Yeah, if he does kind of like the slam kind of spell, then you just want to run towards him. And then once you hear kind of that slam sound, that's when you want to bone out. And now we're going to make our way to Goff, or Go, however you want to pronounce his name. You can also technically trigger Calamite here if you didn't do it after Gwendolyn. Yeah, you want to talk to him once, and then talk to him again, and you want to answer yes to both of his dialogues. Wait till the cutscene starts playing, and then bone out. Well, then skip it, then bone out, rather. And then we're going to make our way to, in my opinion, one of the coolest fights in this game, and that is Calamite. Now, for some reason I had the Dust Crown equipped here, which you don't really want to do. You don't really want to equip here, you want to equip it on the Foggate. But I had a bit of a Papega brain in this run, it seems. But that's okay. So yeah, you can, if you feel more comfortable casting Hidden Body for these dogs, then you can do that here and then just Moveswap once you enter the Foggate. But it is more optimal just to keep Moveswap on here. So yeah, this is where you would equip Dust Crown. But I didn't do that and I got hit, so I had to heal here. Now you can use a Green Blossom once you drop down into the arena, but I just prefer to do it before I drop. So you want to unequip Dust Crown once you land. Now, for for Calamite, again, he's another pretty technical fight like Manus, so best thing to do is practice, watch lots of VODs, etc. But what I like to do at the start here is I like to run kind of in this direction, because if you run directly towards him here, if you see like this mountain here, if he does like the fly down attack, he can bump against this sometimes, which can mess up your roll. So it's not the end of the world if you know what to expect, but I just prefer to avoid that. Lose a bit of time and just run this way, in this direction, so that if he does that attack, I don't need to worry about that. Now, I had a pretty monka shake attack there. Now, the best opening for Calamite is if he does kind of like the long fire and then kind of the fire where he puts his head up. That is the perfect fight. What he did instead was a monka shake fire, which I'm surprised I didn't die to. And then he did the neck swipe. Now, what I like to do if he does the neck swipe is attack him here. Attack his legs here. Now, there's a bit of a AI loop, which you see I do here. I kind of just attack his his hind legs there. And you can bait him into doing an AI loop then, if you do that. But the best recommendation for Calamite is just practice a lot and watch a lot of VODs. It's the best recommendation, as that wasn't a very good fight to reference. So yeah, you want to tune Darkbeat here and warp to the Daughter of Chaos bonfire and equip the Dust Crown on the warp. You want to rest here and unequip the Dust Crown once you get up. And see, I go to Ceaseless now. If you watch Regal's PB for this route, he does Ceaseless after Better Chaos, but I don't think it really matters. I just do him now. Yeah, you want to run up. So for the artist I set up here, you want to kind of like walk up this slope to on this point, and then you want to walk back down and roll. And that will set up RTSR. And make your way to Ceaseless. So you want to make sure you go through this passage here. It's a little more optimal than running around the left side. Now Ceaseless takes 3 casts. Now generally most people that like to run kind of in close and cast 3 times, which will generally lead to a double KO. But what I like to do is kind of just run up until this point and then just cast the Dark Beads. It works pretty much the same way as if you cast from here. The only difference is you don't die usually. And once you see these kind of like little, like these white sprites, that's when I like to bone out. Now it's time for Fire Change Elevator Clip. So you want to equip the Dragon Tooth here and two-hand it. And I like to kind of like aim my camera kind of like with this. I aimed it a bit different in this video, but I like to kind of aim my head with this direction. Wait till my foot, left foot reaches around kind of like this point or so, and then quit out. Yeah, and you just keep quitting out till you clip in. You want to do a plunge attack. You want to do, so you're going to do 1 hour run with the Dragon Tooth, and then cast Darkbeat 3 times. And you want to equip, so what you want to do with Fire Sage, I didn't do this in this VOD, but what you want to do is you want to equip Dust Crown, and you don't want to unequip it until after you kill Fire Sage, so that you will have 3 Darkbeat casts for Centipede and 1 for Better Chaos as well. Yeah, and for RTSR, you just want to jump like around here onto this branch, and then you get RTSR. So for Centipede, I like to run kind of like, what I like to do, it's a bit difficult to explain, but I kind of just keep running until I see his kind of until I see his arm slam, and then I cast around in this direction. Now if all your beads connect in this route, which I believe it's all the beads, then you will get a 2-shot. But normally for me it's a 3-shot, which is fine. You want to use a Humanity there, or Estus Flasks, and then you want to equip the Orange Charred Wing. And make your way to Bed of Chaos. So you have these dragon bots, you just want to run in between them. If he does that attack, you do need to roll it, but if he just does the leg slam, you can just run through his legs, which is fine. So yeah, just run through here. It's probably one of the most boring run throughs to do in the route, or in the game in general. Just like casually 5 minutes of running, but that's always fun, I suppose. So the sorceress or witch here only has one attack that you need to roll, and that's kind of the fire whip. Now, if you're not comfortable with rolling that attack, or if it's a bit too finicky, then you can equip the rapier here and just do a run attack on her. It's a bit slower, but a bit safer. All the other attacks you can just, or all the other spells you can just run past. You want to make sure you have the bow equipped here, and you're gonna do Toki bombs. So for Toki bombs, I kind of like to aim my feet kind of around here, and then once the kind of swipes are finished, so you use Green Blossom there, wait for the swipes to finish, back step. Now you can do either the right branch or the left branch first, it doesn't really matter, I just prefer to do this one first. And you kind of want to just aim around there for a bomb, and then for this one, aim around here, throw a bomb. Now if you have a dark bead cast here, you would keep the Sorcerer's Catalyst equipped, and then you would cast it on Bed of Chaos. I didn't, so I had to do it the old-fashioned way. Now you want to open to Firelink. Set up your meme rolls, and then you want to rest at Firelink. So yeah, you just want to run through here. Now this skeleton here, you can do 2 attacks. If he does the jump attack, you can just run past. If he does a melee, then you have to roll it. So yeah, you want to quit out when you pull this lever here. It does save like maybe a second IGT, but the bigger reason to do it is because the skeletons can block the door you came through, which is pretty monka-shake, so you want to quit out here anyway. Now, you can cast Hidden Body here if you want for the meme rolls, and you kind of want to wait, and so you can roll pretty early for this. But optimally, you want to wait until you're around maybe this point. You leave feet around this point, and then you can start rolling pretty much. Optimally, you can do the Dragon Tooth Plunge if you don't want to do meme rolls. You can check out some no wrong warp VODs if you want to do that. Or optimally, you can just go down the old way if you're uncomfortable with both. So yeah, you wanna. It takes one Darkbeat cast and one R2 to finish Pinwheel because cool route. And use an Estus, and you want to make sure you have your menu open so that you can avoid the Rite of Kindred message that you get. Now, for Tomb of the Giants, you just want to kind of follow these blights, pretty much. For the jump here, you kind of just want to like aim your camera, like aim your character in kind of like this direction, and then just jump. Now you can do full gate skip here, but I opt not to. Then for the run here, I just kind of aim my character in this direction. After that jump, then you jump here. Now you just make your final way to Nito. Now you'll see after the Crystal Lizard here that I cast Hidden Body here for the pinwheels. Optimally you wouldn't do that, but I just do it for safety. So yeah, you want to equip and unequip the Dust Crown here and cast Hidden Body. And then you want to drop into the arena. Now, you see that Nito does a Scream here. So the strategy if you get a Scream is just to two-hand your Catalyst and then just block. And then it goes through you for some reason. And then you want to go in, kill the Skeletons of Darkweed, and then go pounce on Nito. And once you see kind of like that thing pop, that's when you want to bone out. And now it's time for the couple of final bosses left. So you want to cast Hidden Body on the stairs here. And yeah, you wanna kill this guy because occasionally you can just throw a firebomb at you. And what I like to do is kind of just aim my character kind of like towards this, and then jump. Yeah, and you want to do a plunge here. You don't have to, but it's kind of comfy to do. And yeah, you just run in and kind of wait till I reach around maybe this point, and there, Darkweed. Then you want to quit out. When you see kind of his knees touch the ground, that's when you want to quit out. So now it's time for Gaping Out of Bounds. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing this if you're starting out, but what you want to do is, once your kind of like feet kind of like reach this point, you want to quit out, and you want to keep holding forward until you're in the menu. Okay, we enter the game, and you should be out of bounds. Then you want to equip the Dust Crown. And you want to jump here. Make your way to the infamous Foggate skip jump. Now what I like to do is kind of wait until my feet are kind of in this position, then I like to jump. Now I got to roll there for some reason, but yeah. Yeah, this wasn't a very optimal skip, as you can see. It took me 3 jumps, I believe. Yeah. Wasn't very good. Well, it was 4 jumps, actually. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. Wasn't very optimal, but yeah, got it in the end. And you kind of want to run till you're like around here, and then jump to the right. You want to unequip the Dust Crown, and then kill him with Dark Bead. And then once you see kind of his body start to like touch the ground, that's when you want to bone out. And now it's time for the final 2 bosses of the run. So you want to equip Dust Crown after you kill Gaping, and then unequip it once you get into Firelink. And there are kind of 2 RTSR setups you can do for 4 Kings. So the first one is kind of to so you can kind of like run up against the wall there and then backstep, or you can do what I do, which is run around here, and then once you see kind of the elevator go to this point, kind of a bit past this point, you want to backstep. That's what I prefer to do. So I just kept only the Catalyst Equipture for a meme, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. So for seal skip, for the optimal seal skip, you can do a run and attack with the rapier here and get it, but obviously that's for good players only. So what I like to do is run off or walk off, quit out, and then I like to use my keyboard to move forward a bit. Now there are kind of 2 setups here. If you get the quick fall, like if you see a character fall in really quick, then you want to quit out pretty much immediately. And if you get a slow fall, like here, then you want to wait a bit before quitting out. And it should work. Yeah. So optimally you would equip the Covenant of Artorias on the elevator, but I just equipped it there. You want to drop into the Four Kings Arena, and you want to make sure you drop an item here, as where you land from out of bounds is pretty much exactly where the second King's going to spawn. So yeah, it takes 2 Darkbead casts to kill him, and you wanna cast Darkbead 3 times here. Normally without 45 decks you can only cast twice, but you can cast 3 times there. And then you want to run back to where you drop the item and wait for the second king to spawn. So yeah, you can kill this guy, and then you just want to bone out immediately. And make your way to the Lord Vessel. So yeah, you're now obviously off for the souls to the Lord Vessel, run to the kiln, and yeah, you want to equip the Dust Crown here for the Artisar setup. And yeah, once you see this guy doing a running attack, you pretty much want to go to walking speed and toggle out of it so you don't get staggered. And then just make your way through the kiln. Now for this guy here, there's a couple of attacks he can do. If he does the only attack you need to worry about is the quick swipe. That's the only one you need to roll, but you can just run past all the other ones. And for the rest of the knights, you can just run past and you'll survive no matter what attacks they do. Obviously you can get the infamous swipe that this guy can do, which he actually does in this run. Generally you only die to it if you're kind of like brushed up against him. I found that if you're kind of more on the right of him, then you generally don't die to it, but I just rolled out of safety. And for this guy, you just run on the left. You can also run on the right. For this guy you want to run on the right exclusively. It doesn't matter what attack he does. Now, I should probably mention for Gwyn, so I wasn't aware of this optimization at the time, but you want to parry Gwyn here, cast Darkbreed 2 times, and he will always do this kind of jump. Now, what you want to do optimally is you can, before the fight or on the fog gate, you want to equip either the pike or the rapier, and then once you've cast Darkbreed the second time, you want to also make sure you have the shield equipped, and you want to make sure that you toggle, and then you want to do a riposte finish. I wasn't aware of that at the time, so I just cast Darkbreed 3 times. You do save a couple of seconds though with riposte finish, but obviously if you're not comfortable with that, you can just do the Darkbreed cast like I did. And if you do the riposte finish, you'll want to quit out when the victory achieved appears, but if you kill it with Darkbreed, you just want to link the fire. And that's the end of the run. So yeah, that was just a basic overview of the route. My biggest recommendation obviously would be to check out the videos that I've linked, and you know, get the save organizer and just make lots of save files, watch many VODs, as many as you can, do lots of practice, and yeah, and then once you're comfortable, just start doing runs, and yeah, do what you can. So yeah, thanks for watching.